Hello, happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome to our podcast. It's Abomination Goddess, and I have Casie Halseth with me. Welcome.
Hi.
Katie is an imaginative author of Abomination Born, a portal fantasy that brings mystical realms to life, and you can see the cover here on her background. She is an award-winning speaker, and I think that you'll find by watching this podcast and by reading her books that she effortlessly draws her audience into her world, both with her book and on stage. She is deeply passionate about creating welcoming spaces for those who feel like they don't quite fit the mold, cherished by loved ones, but yet often misunderstood. Rooted in the old ways of her matriarchal Hungarian Norwegian heritage, Casey invites us to explore a world where the mystical meets the personal and where the extraordinary feels like it's just within reach. And she is excellent at doing this and helping you connect with these things as well. And I love having her with me every week. So thank you so much for coming, Casey. I'm glad you're here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes. And I am Ashley Kim. I am the author of Villain Goddess, which is should be out there on Amazon now or tomorrow. I wrote this book to help women on their journey to set boundaries, build confidence, heal themselves. And it's a very honest and open look at what I went through and the tools that I used to survive my villain era. I am the founder of a digital marketing agency, and I use my experience to guide female entrepreneurs to strengthen their confidence and their online presence. So I love working with women and I love having conversations with women, just like the ones that Casey and I have every week on the podcast. So I'm excited to get started today. Awesome. All right. We have a new moon coming up. It is tomorrow. And another thing that Casey and I thought would be a fun topic is just for ideas on reconnecting with the earth and with nature. And if you are feeling stressed or anxious or anything like that, just coming back to the earth, it just I don't know, it will calm you back down. It brings your energy back down. And Casey can probably speak to this more to me, but it's almost like you can exchange energies and you can take on a healing, nurturing, soothing one, and you can give up your wild energy that is making you feel icky. Um, and we have some things that we'll go over. I'll share my screen here in a bit, and we can look at books and tarot cards and oracle cards and everything else that we have in there. Do we want to just jump in and then we can just kind of go back and forth and talk about connecting with nature, new moon, like all the fun stuff?
Okay.
Sound good?
Yep.
All right. I'll share my screen here. All right. Okay. Do we want to talk about new moon first? The new moon coming up?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. New moon, the way that I think of it, and let me know what you think of this, is the moon, is basically kind of looks empty. It's black, and then it's going to start growing into a full moon. So this is a great time to jump into things that you want to start growing. And um, did I shut my video off? I'm sorry. There we go. I'm sorry. I think my video's been off this whole time. Okay. Start. Technology. Things that you want to start growing. And so what I did, I pulled up my Fool tarot card because I do like that representation of like, starting a new journey, going on an adventure. And for me, I wanted the feeling of just kind of starting fresh. So I pulled out my Fool card and I will be putting that on my altar tonight. Um, and just have it on all day tomorrow, along with I pulled the New Moon and Aquarius card, which I just love this deck too. Bring love into the situation, which, honestly, when doesn't that work out for you when you can do it that way? And um the New Moon in Aquarius, this card it says to let go of the past and move towards your future as soon as possible. And I really liked that message. And one of the things that we've been talking a lot about are the new beginnings and things like that on the podcast. And then a couple other things. And is I pulled this card, which is Dance with Life. So do something to change your energy. This is a great time to do that. And one of my I call them downloads, but just, information that I received this morning at 3:50 in the morning while I was up stressed out was that I have carried a label of somebody who is working hard to not have anxiety or working hard to not have depression or to enjoy life, but I'm not carrying the label of someone who achieved that. And I need to switch that mindset and switch that label. So I loved this had dancing, and I love that it had do something to change your energy, because that was the message I received this morning. And then I saw this card and I was like, oh, perfect. And then another thing, so I love, whenever I'm starting something new, I love Lang Lang. And so I get a gift box from these guys once a quarter that just has different oils in it. But this glow one has a lot of Lang Lang in it. It's the first ingredient that's listed. So I put it in my lotion, I put it in my diffuser, and I anointed my cards with them as well. And we'll be putting them on my altar. So, all right. That was my new moon plans right there.
I love them. When with the dancing, when I was in my late 20s, I took up dancing. I took up dancing
Ooh,
in a
yeah.
dance line, and I was, my class had four adults in it, four adult girls in it, and we were sandwiched in between little kids. They were ahead of us, and the little kids came in after us, and there we were. And we were adults who had never taken dance lessons when we were little. And, it wasn't in our area. Nobody around us did that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I was redoing my childhood. And it was just wonderful. It was wonderful. I
Yeah.
I love I love my dance classes.
Yep. Yeah, that
Yeah.
is amazing. And
Yeah.
I've even thought of that even in my 40s of, are there dance
Yes.
classes for women like me? I have a cousin, but it's too far away, but she does teach an adult dance class. Oh, it looks so
Yes.
fun. And she was a showgirl in Vegas for a while, and then
Uh-huh.
she danced at the Lido in Paris. So she has a lot of credentials behind her. So I'm bummed, but oh, that is amazing. And it kind of inspires me to look a little bit harder around me to see if I can find
Yes.
some classes.
Yes.
Yeah.
What inspired me was Paul Newman's wife. I can't remember her name just now, but Paul Newman's wife at the time was like in her 40s, and she took up ballet for the first time. And I
Yeah.
thought, well, and then she put on a program. She did a program where it showed her doing her ballet, and she was good. I mean, not as
Yeah.
good as, someone who'd done it all their life, but I thought,
Right.
well, if she can do it at 40, I can do it while I'm still in my late 20s.
Yeah,
And poor Al,
definitely.
I dragged him to all my recitals, and I had all
Yep.
my costumes. We we performed at all the nursing homes in town,
Love
just like the
that.
little kids.
Oh my goodness. That is so cool.
It was
Oh, I love
fun.
it. Okay. Yeah, you're inspiring me.
It was so much fun. I had a great time.
Oh, I love it. See, we can do anything we want to at any age.
At any age, yes,
Yep.
yes.
Oh, I love that. Okay. Let's
Now, one of
see.
the things I didn't pull out, I didn't realize I didn't send you, but I have the 18 is the um gray owl, which is the
Ooh.
tarot card for the gray owl. But what it is the moon card. So I had pulled the moon card, and I
Mhm.
don't know if I even sent that. But the
Oh, look.
during
Yeah.
during the full moon, well, like now where everything is really dark,
Hmm.
this is the time that we can go in and find what we don't want in our life. You know,
Hmm.
this is the time. Like when I've said that the planting during the new moon or when it's dark like this, you plant leafy vegetables and things, and you
Uh-huh.
plant the ones during the full moon that go down into the roots. Like carrots and potatoes. So think of it this way: during the full moon is when when, let's say, this is when you're pulling off the leaves that have turned brown in
Mhm.
yourself. This doesn't work. I'm pulling this one off. This one isn't good. This isn't going in a direction I want. Maybe it's sprouting over there, and it should be just you want it here, or you want it go there.
Yeah. It's
So
like
new
pruning. Yeah.
yeah, this is the pruning on the outside.
Hmm. Oh, I love that. I love that. Yes. Yeah, I love new moons. I actually might like them a little bit more than I like full moons. The energy for me is different and I really enjoy it. It's almost, I feel like I can feel it more. So yeah, this is I love it. I love a new moon.
Hmm.
Okay. So let's talk
Okay.
about, oh, what was that?
Let's see what else you have.
Yep. That's what I was thinking too. Let me go back. Alrighty. Where do we want to start?
I sent a lot of a lot of
No,
pages.
I'm
Sorry.
excited to get into it.
Okay, well, one of the things that this woman did way back in like 1909, uh, she wrote her book. Let me get that out. The Country Diary of an Edwardian Lady, and
Mhm.
it's by Edith Holden. Let's see, there it is. Oh, this is such a beautiful book. It's been published ever since, all the time. It's always been in
Really?
hardcover, but this is now in a soft cover. Oh, I just love this. She writes a little bit about her process through the year, and she watercolors these beautiful paintings of what's happening around her. Yes, the animals, the leaves, everything.
Mm, yeah,
And just like
this is
when
gorgeous.
I know when I see her work, it's just like looking out my windows because we have, well, right now, some of the birds are starting to be pretty active and they go after our cat food. We leave cat food out,
Yeah,
and they love the cat food, and the titmouse comes down for it. Now
yeah.
this is in England, and these are the blue tits and the coal tits and the great tit. So,
Mhm.
but we have the titmouse here. Ours is a gray bird with a little crown at the
Oh,
top.
okay.
That's our
Okay.
titmouse.
Oh, fun. Yeah, it's gorgeous. And so these are her drawings and her
Yeah.
basically kind of like a journal of just keeping
Yes.
track. Oh
Yes.
man,
Yes.
that is so cool.
It is. It's a fabulous book. I
Yeah.
highly recommend it.
Let's see here.
The water hen or the moor hen.
Mhm.
We have a pond nearby, and it's always so fun to see the ducks and the geese. We have the Canadian geese are here now.
Oh yeah.
They
Yep.
come down,
Yes. I like watching the Canadian geese migrate.
and she pays so much respect to the leaves because everywhere
Oh,
around here we've got leaves.
yeah.
And here she's
Oh
got the
wow.
elm, the beech, the chestnut, and the sycamore. We
Mhm.
have the white oak, and the sassafras, and we've got the walnut, black. We've got black walnut, hickory, chestnut. I think we have chestnut.
Oh wow.
Well, quite a
All
few more.
surrounding you?
Yeah, all within the drive. Just leaving their leaves on the driveway.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Yep,
And
this is so
cedar.
neat.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, cedar. Oh, here's the,
Yes.
and so it's, I mean, this is just in her handwriting.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Oh, this is so cool.
I know. Yeah. Edith
Oh, I love
Holden.
it.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm gonna see. Yeah, I'm gonna look for her book. I love this. What January? What? Oh, so it also has just kind of the sayings in here.
Uh-huh.
Oh wow. Yeah, this is amazing.
It says if the grass do grow in January, it grows the worst for it all the year. A wet
Hmm.
January is a wet spring. And the blackest month of all the year is the month of January. They spell it weird, don't they?
Yeah, but I like that too.
I do. Yeah.
This is really neat. How did you find this book?
Mhm. I The other book that's mentioned, I think, I've got here on my list.
This
There,
one?
the Simple Abundance. I believe somewhere in there, reading that it was mentioned, and I like
Okay.
that's a daily book. She's got a little saying and a little paragraph for every single day of the year, and it's a
Neat.
beautiful book. I read it every year, and I believe she's the one who first introduced me to it, or else maybe in something else. I used to watch her videos. I saw her years ago, and maybe she's the one who mentioned it.
Yeah. Oh,
Sarah
that's so
Van
neat.
Brethnock, the Simple Abundance book.
Yep. And then is that what these are? Or oh
Oh
wait, no,
no,
these are
these are pages of if you could put these on your Substack, that would be wonderful. What it
yeah.
is these are the sounds that the birds make. And so and then it'll say what the bird is.
Yeah.
And yeah, like
Oh, this
let's
is
see.
awesome.
I know, I love it. I used to be a member of the Extension Homemakers Club,
Yeah.
the old lady 4-Hers is what we were.
Yeah.
And what we did one year is we compiled all this onto a sheet. Both sides of the sheet were all these names of all these sounds that birds make, and we had
Yeah.
a little bird display, and we had one of these clocks, that picture of the clock on the display, so people could see all kinds of different birds, and we had
This one?
several different birds. And so people could identify when you hear a bird. Sometimes you don't know what it is, but if you read that sheet, it'll tell you
Yeah.
which bird it is.
Yeah. This is
It's like a
amazing.
cheat sheet. Yeah, it's a cheat
Yeah.
sheet. There's our in the middle on the bottom is the tufted titmouse,
Oh, okay.
and there's your nuthatch. And
Yes.
so they'll say the name, they'll say what they say, what it sounds like
Yep.
perchicory and all these different things. It's just
Yeah.
really fun.
Oh, this is amazing. Yeah, we will
So you can just
definitely
sit
put this.
outside and yeah, just sit outside and put your little cheat sheet
Listen.
on your lap and listen. And then
Yeah.
you can identify which bird it is that's singing without even seeing it.
Yes. Yeah, that is I can recognize our turtle doves and our cardinals and our blue jays pretty much right away. And
Oh,
I
you're
love it. I love knowing
jealous.
that they're back there. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Let's see. Is there anything I didn't click on yet? I don't think so.
And you pulled out your fool card. I
Mm-hmm.
just love the fool card. The fool steps out into the world, and some say he's a fool because he steps out into the world without cares or worry. But that's just what we need sometimes when we're
Mm-hmm.
stepping out on in a new project. We have to put all
Right.
that aside.
Yes. Yeah, I
During our
know.
we've cleaned up our plant. We cut off all our leaves during the new moon, and so we know from our work that we've done that we're ready. And so the Fool is the perfect card now. Move forward.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, my goal is to move forward with like purposeful delusion where I am delusional in in a way that is thinking that I can conquer what I need to conquer. And yeah, so I was like, this is the card that I need right now.
It is. It is.
It's a good one. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing for a second. Okay. So another thing, and your books go along the lines of this too, are different ways to connect with nature. And so one of the things that I want to do this year, and if anybody listening wants to do this too, we could do it together. I want to start actually documenting the things that I am noticing in my backyard, and it does help me to connect with nature. And for example, we have a family of turtle doves who comes back every year and they have their babies and their babies have babies and then their babies have babies. So there's always at least three sets before the end of the year. And we've been building different houses around for them so that they can keep coming back because they're one of the birds that do remember where they nested and they come back. And then the same with, I love listening to our cardinals and, just all of them. And we have a snake that likes to live in the garage and then behind our garage. So we have all these things going on, even though we're in the middle of town. And I'm not actually writing down anything. And I thought, I need to start doing this. I need to write down, when am I starting to see who, when I'm, where, um, my herbs. You would think, I would be writing things down, but I don't. I am just now remembering, like, oh yeah, my chive grows back up from the ground, but my lavender just goes dormant and then just blooms, but all that kind of stuff. I couldn't remember. So in the fall, I'd be like, do I prune this one or not? I don't remember. So just for, keeping my brain straight, but also it's just really cool to watch the life cycles happen and like how our world changes. And for me anyway, especially if my anxiety is bad, it is such a good reminder to just be like, you know what, everything is a cycle. Like everything is a cycle and everything's always moving, and you know everything comes back, so good or bad. And so if it's the good that you're missing is coming back, if it's the bad, well, you're learning your lessons, you're going to do better next time. There's just so many things. But I was thinking, this is the year where I want to start, documenting, what is an annual versus perennial. When do birds show up? When do the caterpillars show up? When do the lightning bugs show up? How many did we have this year? The other, because we're so excited. I think we have about five a night in the summertime right now, which used to be zero. So I'm very excited about it.
Oh, wow.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so we're getting there. Not, quickly, but we're getting there. And then the other thing that I started doing last year and I want to document it more this year is, before I pull a weed, I look it up to see if it really is a weed or if it's something else. And I have had so many amazing things growing in my backyard that I was going to pull out and toss. That turned out to be beneficial things. Some of them are edible, some of them are medicinal. And it's sad, the things that we consider weeds that are actually like things that nature just giving to us so that we can use them. So yeah, that's what I want to do. What do you think, Casie?
I think that's wonderful. I did that for a couple years here.
Did you?
I did that, yeah, for a couple of years. I recently found, well, I was, I'm always trying to clear out things. I'm trying to be a minimalist and I'm still a maximalist, but compared to what I used to be, I'm much better than I was. And all those notes and things that I did years ago, so we're talking like 40 years ago, they're gone now. But
Mhm.
yeah, I did that. It really helped. It just it really helped. That's what I needed to do at that time.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I agree at that time. And I think everyone knows when that time is. And for me, it is now. Yeah, so I'm excited. It also kind of, even though, nothing's growing outside and it's kind of chilly, it gives me something to look forward to as well. Just kind of, thinking about, okay, how am I gonna, like, where am I gonna document it, and what's my journal going to look like, and all of the fun stuff.
And I wish I could draw. I have a sister who's a fabulous artist, and I wish I could draw or paint like her because, I could do this book, the Country Diary of an Edwardian Lady. I could do it like the Country Diary of an Ozark lady,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
and put that all in. So
Yeah.
mine are like stick figures.
So I was gonna say mine are too. It would be a stick figure bird. No one would even know.
Yeah, no.
Oh, that would be so fun though to do that just for your area.
Hmm.
Make your
Hmm.
own book. Like, why not? And I really loved that it was handwritten, or like it
Yes,
was her
yes.
handwriting. And um you kind of forget that you can do that, right?
Yeah,
Like,
right, right. You can still do it, right, exactly.
yeah.
I'm
I
reading another book right now, uh, Under the Sunflower Moon by Jackie Kraft.
mm,
And let's see if I can
oh,
there.
pull other. Oh, okay. I feel like I've
And
seen this cover before. What is this
yeah,
about?
our editor, Katrina, she had recommended this book, and
Oh.
it's the Native American, the Cherokee
Hmm.
stories of the Cherokee, and she had started it out writing it all by hand. It's you know wonderful book.
Yeah. Sounds like it. This is fun. I love book recommendations. Always looking for a new one.
Yeah, it won an award, um, and I can see why. Uh, she goes into all the traditions of the Native Americans.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
one day she talks about the Trail of Tears, and maybe one day we can talk a little bit about the Trail of Tears.
Oh, yeah, that would be fun. Or,
Mhm.
fun as in educational and learning. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, we can do that anytime in the future.
I met
Um,
a little ghost from the Trail of Tears. I may have told you about that.
I think you did tell me, but I don't think you've told. I mean, if you want to get into it, we can, if you want to tell your story, because it is a cool story.
Uh, yeah, I was sitting on, my husband wanted to learn how to grow mushrooms. And so we went to a woman's house in the Ozarks here who was teaching a class on how to grow mushrooms. And we have a cellar outside that would be perfect for growing mushrooms in. So he was in the class, and I was drawn to like a creek that was by her house. And she had said before I went over there to sit down, I sat there by myself, and she had said that that was where the Trail of Tears passed by in the Ozarks here. And at the time, I really didn't know too much about the Trail of Tears. I'd not heard too much about it. Anyway, so I was sitting on this rock, and you know me, within just a few minutes of being there, this little boy, a little ghost boy, probably about 7 years old, popped out of the ether, and he was the cutest little guy. He had short hair, bangs cut straight across like this, and short hair kind of tore off bangs, but he was so cute. He had blue buckskin slacks on, and I didn't know they came in blue, a light sky blue. And he had moccasins that were sky blue, and he had a circle on his moccasin. Uh, and he came up to me, and he didn't have a shirt on. He had something on his neck, some sort of um, beads of some sort around his neck. And he came up to me, and he was just the cutest thing. He had a little Buddha belly. He was kind of little chunky guy, and he comes up to me, and he says, he closes his arms, crosses his arms across his chest, and he's just as cute as can be. And he says, "Do you know why it's called the Trail of Tears?" And I was I I don't know. Is it because everybody who was watching, or as you go along, everybody's crying or something?
Yeah.
I didn't know. And he said, "It's because we carried our dead. And the people who watched us cried because they saw us carrying our dead. We were proud. We were proud." And then he puts out his little foot. And I look at his foot, and he's got the moccasin on it. And he says, "Do you know what this is?" And I looked at his circle that he had, and he had a blue line across his circle. And I said, "Oh, well, that's the medicine wheel, but you have a blue line, and it's supposed to be red, isn't it?" I don't, and I said, "Oh, well, I don't know, but I'm taking these classes, and they talked about the good red road, and it's supposed to be red, isn't it?" And he said, "It's blue. It's supposed to be blue." And I said, "Oh, okay. I'm going to believe them. If a
Right,
spirit tells
right.
me something, I'm going to believe the spirit." And he was so adamant that it's a blue line. And he goes like that across his foot, to show me his blue line. And I thought, "Oh, okay, good, yeah." And then this other guy from our group, he came up to us, and as soon as he came, the little boy disappeared. Well, a few days later, I called a Navajo woman that I know, and she'd been teaching Native American things. And I said, "But I hate to tell you that you're wrong, but you taught us in the class that it's the good red road." And this little spirit that I met, he said it's the good blue road. And I could hear her kind of going, in the background. And she said,
Huh?
"Well, you know, well, the when you pass away, you walk the good blue road. And when
Mm.
you're alive, you're walking the good red road." So he was right. He's walking the good
Yes.
blue road.
Yeah. Aw,
And yeah. And so
sweet kiddo.
I have this every time I hear about the Trail of Tears, I have such a special connection to it through him,
Hmm.
this
Yeah,
sweet little boy.
yeah. And he taught you so much. That's amazing. Oh, I
That's
love
where
that.
I always learn so much from the other side. They just
Hmm.
pop in. The Ozarks is just loaded with people who pop in and tell you things.
Mm. Yeah. But I guess what are most of their nationalities or I guess cultures in the Ozarks?
Yeah, many of the people that came on the Trail of Tears from Georgia ran off into caves and went hiding. Uh, but as soon as they were found, it depends on where they were found and the kind of people that found them. They were either made to go back onto the Trail of Tears or they were killed. So they would stay in hiding.
Okay.
But many people in this area are part Cherokee.
Oh,
And
okay.
it's from the people who didn't want to go all the way to Oklahoma, where they were
Right.
taken to.
Okay. Oh, wow. Yeah.
And
That's a
most of the
powerful
people that
story.
I've met, most people I've met who are Cherokee don't know their own heritage, you
Yeah.
know,
It's taken
and the
away
re
from them.
it was taken away, just like they tried to with my family.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that gives me chills, goosebumps.
And
I
so
was
when
just
you're out
telling.
there looking and appreciating nature, um, you're not the first ones there, you know.
Mhm.
Uh, there's been people before you. And so as you're working with the soil, working with the plants, you're working with things that have been there since a very long time. And those spirits are right there and they're
Uh-huh.
cheering you on. Oh, good job. We
Yeah.
love that you're doing this. We love that you're coming close to nature.
Mhm. Yes. Growing up, so I grew up on a big farm, and I would do a walk where I would go through a field that was like every other year it was either corn or soybeans. And then I would cross that field and it would be a big the hay field. And then on the other side of that was a huge pond that had a ton of snapping turtles in it. But so I would just walk that as like my exercise. And as soon as I crossed over into the field that was either corn or soybeans, a spirit would walk right beside me, next to me the whole time. And it was a one of the farmers, that used to live there. And, I could tell by his clothing that was, 1800s, early 1800s. But it was so cool. And no one, I mean, I don't want to say they didn't believe me, but no one else saw it. Until one year, my mom did take a picture of the corn because we were trying to because the full moon looked so pretty coming up behind the corn. And then in one of the pictures, she's like, "Is that a face?" I'm like, there he is.
That's
That's him.
him.
Yeah, it was so neat. But yeah, that farm, it's really cool. It gets hit with a tornado every 5 years, but the house is never touched. It's always a circle around the house. The house is always safe, and it's a very interesting house. But yeah, I can tell for sure. We weren't the first ones there, obviously, and there's a lot of history there, and um, even the structures of the house and different areas that you go into just have different feels based on, who did what in that house before we were ever there. And yeah, it's really cool. It's fun.
It is cool.
Yeah.
It
And
is.
I have it's an old Victorian home and they remodeled it. And so I have the big oak pocket doors that you would slide into the wall and then slide back out. So I have two of those I got to keep. They're in storage, but I'm like, I'm not giving these up.
That is so cool.
I loved it. Yeah, and I think history anywhere. I think people forget that too, is especially if you're living in a house that was built in the 1940s or something or earlier, and you kind of forget, that.
Europe tends to accept this more so
Mhm.
than the United States
Yeah,
because it's it's hard to not accept it there. More people come forward with it, but not as
yeah,
many people come forward with it here. It's
Yep. Yes.
discouraged, which is a
Yeah,
shame.
it is discouraged. I would say New England probably is a little bit more open, but I think that's it. So those, yeah, but
Mhm.
they're probably the oldest in as far as colonization in the US anyway, though. So, um, but yeah, I think I don't know, honoring that history is super important.
Hmm. You know, that little boy, I had this feeling that that little boy had been waiting a very long time to tell someone his story.
Mhm.
Been waiting a very
Yes.
long time.
Yeah. Oh, it's yeah. That's just the sweetest thing. And you know he was proud to share and show you
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
everything. Yeah. Just like a little
Hmm.
kid. Yep.
And in this book, she talks about the fact that when someone died along the trail, they would plant the three sisters, which is a a bean, a corn, and a squash seed,
Oh,
and they've always been planted together, and
yeah.
they grow together, supporting each other.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. Um, that is interesting that you said that because I was looking up, I can't even remember what the search term was that I used, but I was trying to find more like heirloom plants to the area. And Three Sisters was on there. There was, I don't even know how I got to this website, but that was one of the things you could buy. And I didn't
Hmm.
understand it. So you just put it all
Hmm.
together for me.
You put it in a mound. You put it in a mound, and the corn goes in the center, and the bean and the squash go next to it in the mound, and then it will they will support each other as they grow. The things that are attracted to the corn will keep the other will keep the other two plants safe.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Mhm.
that's really neat. Okay.
Mhm.
Oh, maybe I want to plant some. Hmm,
Yeah, yeah,
need
the
to do
three
that.
sisters. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'll do that then. Oh, I love it. Thank you for sharing that story, by the way, Casey. You have told me a little bit of it, but I didn't hear the full story. And I love it. I love it when you share any of your stories like that. And I also like that anybody listening can accept that it's okay to have things like that happen to you, or it's a blessing, really, to have something like that happen to you. So, you know, I know for some of us, we can be told that maybe we're a little crazy or, not accepted. And it's good to hear stories from other people so that we know that we're not alone. And like literally, we're not alone, but
We're not
also we're
alone.
not alone because we have each other too, who are living some shared experiences. Not as, obviously mine aren't anywhere close to yours, but having other people to talk to, I think is paramount in accepting ourselves and opening ourselves up to receiving even more. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Yay. All right. Let's see. Lessons are new moon is coming up. So
Prune.
think about that. Yep, prune. And be a fool if you can. Dance. And then start documenting what you see outside in your own backyard. You don't have to, I mean, if you can hike out in nature, that's amazing. But if you can't, there's no reason why you can't start in your backyard. Um, even your apartment deck, if you don't have a yard. So I think that's amazing. Um, what else? Am I missing anything else?
Oh, and then follow the birds that are coming through the.
Yes. Yes, follow the birds. And we will post the those papers that have the bird noises, the bird calls on them. I think it's amazing. That makes me excited.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's fun.
I love it. All right. Well, hopefully everybody has an amazing rest of the week and a wonderful new moon. Yay. All right.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.